All right, perfect. It is March 6th. We are really excited tonight. We have a guest speaker on our call, and I will let Corey introduce her momentarily. Thanks to Corey for setting this up for us tonight. So shout out to her, kudos to her. We love to have new energy on the team calls and things like that. And I know it's going to be packed with value, so I'm looking forward to it. I just wanted to address a couple of things really briefly before we get started. Dana and I were talking today about the plan for Portion Fix. So what we're thinking is April 1st will be the official day one of our personalized Portion Fix group. So like a totally different group from Get Elevated, doing it April 1st because many of us are on the cruise until the 29th. So we didn't want to start it while we were there because it would be a heavy weight on lots of other coaches, and we obviously will not be following the Ultimate Portion Fix on the cruise. So we wanted to start with everybody. If people are inviting to this already, if they have people on board already, if they're getting people started, that's awesome. What we're thinking of is having this group open up, but to really focus March on talking to them about decreasing their processed food intake or increasing their water intake or trying new veggies, things like that, so that when we start on day one, it's not like a cold turkey, like, oh crap, I have to ditch everything that I've been eating and drinking up until this point. So it doesn't mean they have to like totally wait. They could start watching the videos, but come April, we will have that video plan in place so that we're all kind of watching the same videos then. They could rewatch them because it never hurts to rewatch those topics, and really just focus in on those topics each day and really utilizing the containers from there. So that is the date we're thinking of. Feel free to brainstorm as a team if we want to do this as a team anytime, but that's kind of what we are doing. And having sort of a welcome message. Dana created one today, I know. So just getting people onboarded and starting with that. And the other quick thing, personally, I mentioned this last week, but I'm really, really using this week and next week, I'm trying to look at the dates here, to pack it with value, to get people curious about it, to see what I'm going through in the training, to relate it to myself, and then go in with the call to action. So you guys aren't call to action posting every single day saying, join me, join me, join me. Like, this is a new thing, join me. People are going to start to ignore you. Like, talk about what you're learning as getting certified and as you dig into this program, and get them interested without giving them too much information, and then go in with some invitations. Now I'm onboarding. Like, now is the time that I'm enrolling people for this group. So we're building hype around this April group for like days, a few days or a week or more, and then go out with those invites. So the conversations are happening, the posts are happening, the attraction marketing is happening, and then we go in with invites with the people that we've been talking to. All right. So that is all I want to say about that. Corey, I'm going to pass it over to you to introduce our guest speaker tonight.
Hey, awesome. You guys, I'm really excited that Stephanie is on with us. I'm going to read, I love the bio she sent, and I'm going to read it because I feel like we can all relate to what she does and where she comes from, which is being a hardworking, badass working woman and a mother to all of the children, plus one in her belly right now. So she is, and many of you might know her already as the co-creator of STB, or Social Team Builder, creator of MCB, or My Connection Builder. She's a private success coach, social media manager to top leaders across 6 different network marketing companies, including many top Beachbody coaches. So like Holly Hillier, Bonnie Engel, so lots of people we look up to. She's presented at live events at the corporate level on topics such as authenticity on Facebook and other social media strategies, which is one of my favorite topics. I've been reading a lot about that, so I hope we get to touch on that a little bit too. And she's the mom of soon-to-be 3 kiddos and 3 pups. So thank you, Stephanie. I'll let you sort of coordinate, but I think people can use the chat box for questions, and she can sort of check it at a good time, and she's going to share her screen with us. So definitely use the chat box for questions.
Yeah, so do the chat box. I am going to share my screen, which sometimes means I can't see the question as soon as it comes in, so I might come back at the end and make sure I got all the questions. But please do ask questions, or if you feel really enlivened about it, I do not mind if you unmute yourself and just interrupt me. Like, this is a chat. I want this to be super valuable for all of you guys. I'm familiar with several of the people here. So, I like to just chit chat with people. So I do have a little presentation, and I love that you're leading into a launch, because really what I'm talking about today is the importance of tracking and follow-up, which sounds like bleh. But trust me, it can be fun, and it is super critical to your business. So it's kind of a three-parter. Like, one is like, you really got to see how critical this is. Two is, I'm going to show you how to do it. And then three is, how can we capitalize more on that to grow your network? Like, if you know me at all, I do lots of Facebook advertising. I'm an ads expert, all that kind of stuff. This is not about paid anything, because I want this to be applicable to everybody. So this is really about capitalizing on the list you already have, especially coming up to a launch like this in 1 to 2 weeks. That's where you're at right now. You need to work with the people that you have. So I kind of like the timing of this one. I think it's going to be great for you guys. So let me get my screen shared. Can you guys all see this? A nod? Okay. And people don't believe me, but I am bad with technology. Let me look at slideshow. Boom, I did it. Wow. Okay. So it's titled How to Get More Sales. Let me move our faces so I can see it all. Without speaking to a single other person. Just like I said, you got to capitalize on the list you have, right? See, I told you, not great. So our mission, if you're not familiar with Social Team Builder, My Connection Builder, or myself, we've really made a goal to help 10,000 plus people in the community of network marketers become financially free in the time you're already spending on Facebook and Instagram. It's important to me. You heard, I'm a mother of soon to be 3. I have 3 puppies. I have a husband. I have a household. I run multiple businesses. I'm also personal consultation, all that kind of stuff. Plus, I do try to eat and sleep and breathe and have some fun in my life. And so it's important to me to see you guys be able to achieve the success that I want you to without, 24/7. Okay. So I want you to take your business to the next level. Obviously, make you more money, because that is important. And we do this one person at a time. If you're familiar with us at all, maybe you're not, but we have like group support and all sorts of stuff. We really try to be available to everybody, human to human, even though we have thousands of people. And that is possible. And I think that's the way most of you guys want to run your job as well. Most of you want to run your business personally. And I think sometimes when you get on social media and you start to use systems, it can feel cold and you start not being yourself. And so the core of all of what we train is to get back to being you, get back to being authentic, because that's really how to make your money. So I have this usually as a live video, so you can't give me hearts, but give me a hands up, give me a yes. Let me hear you in the comments, because I really like for people, I want to see the comment number go at least more than 5, get up to 10 there. If you want to make more money each month, and you're looking to create full financial freedom for yourself and your family. I mean, I know that some people, it's a side hustle, or you're here for the community, or you're here for your health, and that is great. But what I'm going to talk about is to help make you some more money, because you already got the community, you already have great leaders, you already have great products. So hopefully if you're on these business calls, it's because you actually want to make money while doing that, okay? And then give me a heck yeah if you want to do this by helping people the way we were just talking, one by one, providing real value and helping them with something they need help with, okay? So a little plug for My Connection Builder here, because it truly will help you. And so if you guys are using My Connection Builder, anybody that is on here using My Connection Builder, comment as well and let other people know that you've given it a shot. Give them your honest feedback. I love honest feedback. You guys know that. That's why I'm in the help chat live. That's why I'm in the group live. I want to know how to make it better if something's going wrong. So help me do my job right now. If you're on your phone, obviously don't leave this call, okay? But at some point, go in. You can do this on your cell phone. You can do this on a computer, and go to myconnectionbuilder.com. It's just the words myconnectionbuilder.com, and you can get a free trial. Okay, it's free, full 30-day trial. We don't ask for your credit card. You don't have to continue it afterwards. We're actually in the middle of a challenge, so it's a great time to join because it will walk you step by step through how to use this tool really well. So this is your freebie, but the rest of the presentation, if you have a tracking tool that you love, use it. If you think pen and paper is going to be your jam, trust me, it's not. You're going to lose pieces of paper. The paper can't automate things. I would love for you to give this a shot, but if you don't want to, it is still information that you need to learn, especially going into this launch. So I want you to really focus after this. So these are just what you're going to see if you go to myconnectionbuilder.com. You literally just first name, last name, email, password, and you're in. No credit card or anything unless you decide you want to keep using it. So why I do this is because you're going to listen to this presentation and be super hyped up, and you're going to take a lot of notes. Please take a lot of notes. But I know how life is. Being a busy woman myself, being a busy business owner and mother myself, you're going to be hyped up and you're going to want to do it. And then if there's not a system in place that makes it easier for you, it goes by the wayside. And I don't want that for you because I know the power of what we're talking about tonight. And I want you to really take action after this. So, and a tool like this was created for a reason. I've helped 10,000 plus network marketers in all of our various trainings. I'm a personal coach to the people at the top. And trust me, even if you're at the top, you might not have time freedom. And it breaks my heart to see people work so hard and have so much success even and not have time freedom. And so it was built with you guys in mind. And so I know it works for you and I want you to use it. So that's why I'm giving it to you for free. You also get into our group where you have access to me and a bunch of other people who are successful sharing what's working for them. A lot of people are Beachbody coaches, Jesse Reagan's in there, all that kind of stuff. So again, myconnectionbuilder.com. All right, end of plug. So here's the meat of it, you guys. In this first part, like I said, it was a 3-part series, is to really, really let it sink in the importance of follow-up, because we all know the fortunes in the follow-up, right? We've all literally had that beaten into our heads, yet we don't really do it. Even people in our own training and in our own group have epiphanies every once in a while, like when we're doing this challenge, this 30-day challenge in March, and they're like, why did I use this old tracker? And this person happened to be a Beachbody coach. I don't know if, Corey, if you saw this video in our group earlier, it was Anna, and she was like, I have hundreds of people that I wrote down and tracked it, but I never followed up with them. So this first part is gonna be telling you like literally studies on follow-up, okay? Majority of sales require 5 follow-ups. More than half of all salespeople give up after just 1. And I wanna see these comments go up too if you are someone who doesn't follow up, or you follow up once and maybe they ghost you, or they give you a wishy-washy answer and you're just like, maybe I'll move on, or maybe I'll follow up with them later. Okay, more than half of you, say the stats, you give up after just 1. 92% of sales reps give up before the critical 5th follow-up. Now, how many of you actually have ever even gotten to a 5th follow-up with somebody because you're just terrified that you're pestering them, okay? And trust me, what we teach is not about blasting cold scripts to people. It is about getting to know them person to person, but even those people, 5 follow-ups is the critical number, okay? That means 8% of salespeople score 80% of the sales. And what does that sound like to you? It sounds like the elite 10 to me, right? I know it's 8%, 10 people, whatever, it's not the same number, but these people are running systems that work for them. And like they mentioned, I happen to know quite a few of them. Okay, so this is not just theory. This is not just me being like, la-di-da, it sounds good, I'm just gonna post this picture here, okay? They have systems in place and they work their butts off. So I'm not gonna say they don't work their butts off, but they couldn't get to that level if they didn't have systems that they duplicated themselves in place. And a lot of those systems are in that My Connection Builder program that we built. And I'm going to talk about things that I've learned from working with them, from mentoring them, from being in like mastermind circles, into how conversations and follow-up really work. Okay. So again, 8% of salespeople are making 80% of the sales. And I want you guys to have your slice of that. So to make this work though, you have to do it the right way. It can be a numbers game for some people. And you could go out and just blast and blast and blast and blast and blast and not care about that person, but that's not how you want to run your business. You're going to burn yourself out. You're going to chase people away. I want you to not be that guy, right? Don't be that dude. So whatever system you use, this is actually a screenshot from my connection builder, but whatever system you use, I want you to take that person into account. Don't just follow up with 20 people that you just met in some Labrador group last week that have no idea that you run a business, have never told you that they're interested in fitness or wellness or improving anything or joining a community or making more money, and just blast them with the same script, okay? I want you to create a system or use a system that reminds you to follow up with them based on your personal relationship. And now you probably feel like you're doing that right now, scrolling Messenger, taking hours to find a person, taking hours to relive your messages, and that is the really, really, really freaking hard way, and you're going to spend hours doing that and follow up with like 3 people and be exhausted and feel like you worked all day and really you got nothing done, okay? So I want you to systematize, take notes, tag these people, like put them in categories, going up to this Ultimate Portion Fix in April, when you're doing your authenticity posts, right? Take note of who's commenting under, oh yeah, I snack on chips late at night too. Or, oh my gosh, I have always had love handles too. Or whatever you're talking about, you're going to start conversations authentically because you're not doing sales pitches. You're not doing call to action with everything. Take note of those people, and then you can start a chit chat with them. And when you go back to follow up with them, when this product launches, you're going to know the angle to go at it with. Be like, this is really going to help me with my love handles. I saw that you mentioned that you hated yours as well. Were you ever embarrassed in high school or whatever is natural for that conversation, okay? But in your follow-up, it needs to have enough information easily available to you so that you can find this person, quick in 30 seconds, refresh yourself on all the information that you have on them and your history so that you can present them with the proper offer and you will get more sales. And this is the secret follow-up sequence. This is the gold. Take notes right now if you don't take notes anywhere else, because this is how it's going to work for you, okay? It's a 6-step secret follow-up sequence, and it's really not secret because I tell every single person that I possibly can this follow-up sequence because it works and I want success for you guys, okay? So step 1 is they have to be a new lead. You can't talk to somebody unless they're in your universe, okay? So first they have to come into your life. So you may have a warm network of your close family and friends. You may be adding to your network every day. Please be adding to your network every day. Otherwise, you're going to stall out at some point. But they have to be new somehow in your world. Like you can't just go talk to somebody if they're not in your universe yet. So that's kind of obvious, but I have to put it down there because I'm a systems and a checklist person, okay? So step 1 is they have to be in your world. You have to be able to communicate with them. You can't make your list of ideal 100 people on your team and have one of them be like Ellen DeGeneres or something, and you have no possible plausible way to actually connect with this person, okay? Number 2, meaningful contact made. This is critical because I found that a lot of people get stuck. Okay, let's say you have a goal to follow up with 5 people a day or to reach out to 5 people a day or 10 people a day or whatever your number is, right? How many of you kind of stay in the safety zone with a lot of them? So let's say maybe you have like 1 or 2 real new people that you reach out to, and then maybe a third one that like you've been holding on to for a long time and finally have courage and reach out to them. And then to fill up the rest, to check off your list, to feel like you did the thing, to fulfill your challenge or whatever you're doing in a push group, you reach out to your mom for the 28th time, reach out to your sister for the 50th time, reach out to your cousin who's unfriended you because you've already lost that person and no more damage can be done. And, it's kind of safety zone. It's like you either know they're gone already so you don't mind pestering them more, or you know that they love you so much that they're not going to leave no matter how much you pester them, okay? So meaningful contact made is this person is actively chatting back with you about what you message them with, okay? Systems are all about using your time wisely. I don't want you to go message a bunch of people who aren't interested. And so number 2 is a critical step because it keeps you out of the safety zone or kind of the cheat area with these people. They got to be talking back to you. Otherwise, it's not a conversation and you're really just like spamming them, okay? Number 3, needs, wants, and desires. So I use this terminology all the time for those people whose names I recognize up here. You're probably tired of hearing of this, but it is critical, okay? One of the other things that I'm known for is copywriting skills, persuasive sales copy, making an offer that people can't refuse, okay? You know how you do that is your audience, your avatar, if you've never heard that word, your perfect ideal customer. And you know them so well that you know how your product or business offer can satisfy a need, want, or desire that they already know about. You can speak to them, you can offer it in their own words and terminology in a way that is desirable to them. We all know the entire world could benefit from the products and fitness programs of Beachbody. We know that. There's so many people who don't move their body and eat right. They need systems. We know they work. But if you don't know how to present that bundle and that package and your solution or the business opportunity to this person in their own words, because they've opened up to you and admitted to you their needs, wants, and desires, they've admitted to you the problem that they need a solution for, then you don't know how to present it. The same person's going to buy a red shirt as that other stranger over there that's going to buy a red shirt, and they're going to buy it for different reasons. I'm going to buy a red shirt because red's my favorite color. I'm making this up. Purple's my favorite color. But just for the example, red's my favorite color. That person's going to buy the shirt because it's a really soft shirt. I would buy it from a different sales pitch than that person would. Okay. And so the needs, wants, desire stage tells you why that person needs your product. There's 1,000,001 different reasons why that person needs somebody could need your product. You got to find out what that person desires, what that person's struggling with in their own words. And then how much easier would it be to be like, you know, I got a solution for that, I think, instead of trying to sell someone on a weight loss product when they're really trying to bulk up, right? You could have sold the same product to them just at a different angle. So this needs, wants, desires is really you having a conversation using your listening ears more than you're using your talking mouth and wanting to tell them all the details of the program and seeing what they're struggling with so that you can solve that problem for them. Okay. Step 4 in the 6-step follow-up sequence, meeting arranged. Now, this can kind of seem convoluted, especially when we are working virtually. I feel like most people don't go live in fit clubs or live and meet people in coffee shops anymore. That's the benefit of working on social media, right? Is you can help people from across the globe as long as your company serves them. But meeting arranged can be anything from, there's 3 things. It needs to be a specific action that they do at a specific time in a specific place. Okay, so this could be, hey, after you find out their needs, wants, and desires, you know, like, hey, you know, I used to struggle with that too. And I found something that really works for me. Would you be willing to hop on a call with me tomorrow at 3 p.m. On this Zoom link? And I can kind of chat with you more about it. Okay, it's an invitation to learn more. So this is where you start getting into business. The first 3 steps, you're working with that person as a human being, but in a strategic way. Okay, but it's very personal. And you're finding out their needs, wants, and desires and moving towards if you have a solution or not. Some people are not interested in your solution. You can cut them out, okay? But if somebody's open enough to share with you some struggles and you have a solution for it and it's clear cut to you, then you offer a meeting, okay? Hey, my upline has this group starting in April with this new program that I think is going to really break my plateau too. If you, you know, I can't remember the date you said, sometime in April. So like April 1st, if I added you to the group, would you want to scope it out for 24 hours? Would you be available to do that? Or would you want to come to this 3-way phone call? Would you like to come to this webinar? If I showed you a YouTube video tomorrow by 8 p.m., would you be able to get back to me? Okay, so specific action at a specific time in a specific place. The place could be the phone call, the Zoom, meet me back in Messenger, the Facebook group, whatever. But it's inviting them to actually, in a specific time, do a specific thing for you. And if they say yes, then you can move on. If they say no, they're not ready or they're not available at that time or something, and you continue to try to set that meeting, okay? Because they're saying yes to you. It's a small yes to the next step, okay? Step 5 is offer made. Please note, this is not step 1. This is step 5, okay, of a 6-step process. I would not send somebody the purchase link. I would not send somebody to a corporate website. I would not do anything like that until you've done steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? Because until that point, you have no freaking idea if they want, need, or desire your product, why they want, need, or desire your product, if they're willing to chat with you about it, if they are ready to move forward by agreeing to a meeting, okay? You don't propose marriage to somebody on the first date. You're pretty sure they're going to say yes before you buy that ring and get down on your knee, or however You're going to propose to this person. Maybe you write to them in a sky with an airplane, whatever. It's a grand gesture. You don't do that on the first date. You do that when you're pretty sure they're going to say yes. I wouldn't send anybody my link or anything like that until I'm pretty sure they're going to say yes. And you get to that pretty sure they're going to say yes by steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. The offer made is literally, they went to the meeting. They're like, oh my gosh, yes, I would love more information about this. Yes, I would love to do this. Yes, when is the next enrollment? Yes, whatever. Okay. You gotten some yeses from them. Then you make the offer. This is sending them the link. This is screen sharing and going on the website together. However you enroll people that you feel best, that's when you make the offer. Okay. If you do these 5 steps, you are going to not only cut out the time wasters, save yourself so much time, save yourself so much anguish. You're going to push fewer people away because you're listening to them. You're not going to offer them something and have them be like, I never said I didn't feel strong. What do you mean I need to bulk up? You know, like it's just way less risk this way. They're literally going to be begging you for the link to buy by the time you do this right. Okay. But sometimes you still get objections. And so I put step 6 in there because I think a lot of people are afraid of objections. Usually they're afraid because they do not do these 5 steps. And so the person's angry or they don't understand what went wrong. But if you do these 5 steps, you have a relationship with this person, you know them intimately enough to take that objection. Oh, I can't do it right now. I don't have enough money. Oh, I don't know if I have the time for it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Step 3 was needs, wants, and desires. They already bared their soul to you. They said, you know, whatever their anguish is about what they want to change in their life, finances, community, support, physicality, nutrition, energy, whatever it is, you have their own words to speak back to them. If they have an objection after all these steps, which does sometimes happen, you care about them. You have a relationship. I would go into it with curiosity and be like, oh, that's really surprising to me. You know, I thought last week when we were talking, you were like depressed over the fact that you can't fit into these jeans anymore. And you just wish that somebody would give you support. And I showed you how the support of my team really changed my life the same way. And so like my heart bleeds for you. I told you all the support that I would get and you were interested in it. So I'm wondering what changed your mind. Usually people are just scared of something, or maybe they're not the financial decision maker in their family and the other person's not supportive, but usually it's not about money or about time. It's about doubt in themselves, doubt in the product, doubt in whatever. And that's a conversation starter. Okay. So if you can handle objections as part of your follow-up sequence, it demystifies it. It makes it way less scary. And if you do all these steps first, then you are empowered. You're not scared and defensive. Okay. So I hope you took notes. So take a screenshot. I know a lot of that was me talking, and you took notes. And it seems like a lot of steps, but you can actually get through all of these in one single conversation, or it could be actually 5 different days of follow-ups or 5 different weeks of follow-ups, or it could take months. It depends on your relationship with this person. Obviously, the more developed it is, the faster it can go. The more interested this person is, the faster it can go. But it doesn't have to take forever. It can actually be pretty quick. So if you feel like you can't remember it all, that is the benefit of using a tool. If you don't want to use our tool, which is my connection builder, then I would recommend if you do Excel sheets or something, or write down all this stuff. I'm going to put it back up. Write it all down. And the next time you get caught up with somebody, like go back to some of your old conversations and be like, why did they ghost me? Oh, because I'd never asked them if they were actually interested before I sent them my link, right? Like it's usually something very simple and it fits into one of those categories, okay? But with my connection builder, it does it all for you. It puts them all in a funnel. You got lead in, contact made, needs, wants, desires, meeting arranged, offer made, handles. I'm muted. I don't know how long that was on for.
Sorry about that. I was trying to mute somebody else and I muted you.
That's okay. Hopefully it wasn't
like
very
1
long.
second.
I mean, if you want to talk, that's fine. But it puts them in order for you. So when you go in, you can look at that person and say, okay, where am I at in this funnel? I'm in needs, wants, and desires. Okay. So it's not time to send them a link, even though it's the end of the month. I got to make Success Club. Even though I have professional goals, it's not the right time for this person. It makes you not make that mistake anymore. Because I know you all really want to help these people, but you also want to make money. So if you do get to the end of the month or to the end of a launch period or the beginning of a launch period or whatever, and you have business goals, I want you to hit those too. What you can do is go to the end of the funnel. So anybody that's had a meeting arranged, offer made, or you're handling objections. So any of these people down here in this example, those are the people you go to when you have a business goal, you have a deadline, because you're already far enough along that it's not going to be misplaced for you to make an offer or follow up with them about the product, give a little bit of time urgency, all that kind of stuff, right? So this really helps you not skip a step with people, but still have an easy way to look up the people that are primed to say yes and won't feel like it's out of place if you make them an offer, okay? So that's the first part. So hopefully, well, the second part. The first part was follow-ups and key. That second part that I just went over is how you actually do follow-up so that you get more yeses from the people that you're already talking to, okay? And this last part is how do you grow your network? I'm not going to talk about ads or anything. This flows right in line. It's like what happens after you do a good job chatting with somebody, okay? So do you drop them once they sign up, take their money and run? It's like, peace out, I got Success Club, woo! And you don't care about them? I don't think that's any of you probably, okay? But in case that's your habits, not because you want to, but because you're always pressured to talk to new people and all that kind of stuff, here's some interesting information for you. Retaining your current customer is 6 to 7 times less costly than acquiring new ones. What does that mean? That means retention, you guys. You're all in a business that is interesting and is attractive to you, among other reasons, because you can build residual income, right? You sell somebody a challenge pack, they order Shakeology for X amount of months afterwards. You did all the legwork with them, but you're getting residual income. Same thing with building a downline. You helped that person, you help them build their business, you get a residual income based off their efforts, okay? If you forget that part, you're going to constantly be grinding, constantly be hustling. And yes, that 6-step conversation funnel is going to make it a heck of a lot easier and less stressful. But why would you not capitalize on working with the people that you've already worked with? Okay. And so what I want you to do is make sure that whatever system you're using, whatever follow-up tool you're using, it reminds you to follow up with your clients and your teammates. Okay. Because that's where the long-term residual, growing, exponentially kind of income is for you. And it is 6 to 7 times easier to work with that person who already said yes. Maybe they're not Shakeology every month, but if you go back and figure out their new needs, wants, and desires after they went through the 21-day fix, okay, maybe they need something more intense. Maybe they need something less intense. Maybe they're ready to add some performance line. Maybe they need something else. Maybe they're ready for coaching, right? If you're not following up with them and still doing that conversation funnel, figuring out where they're at now, their new needs, wants, desires, then you don't know what to offer them next. They kind of feel alone and they're going to get less success and they're not going to stick around, okay? Also, they're a great resource for referrals. 91% of customers say they'd give a referral. Only 11% of salespeople ask for them, okay? How many of you have ever actually asked for a referral? And of those people who have ever actually asked for a referral, how many of you do it as a regular part of your sequence? Now, the good news is if you use that 6-step conversation funnel, I'm going to keep going back to that and why I even made it and talk about it so much. Even if someone says no, even if you get to objections or they say, no, it's not for me, whatever, guess what? You treated them like a human being. You listened to them. You offered something that was at least remotely catered to your personal relationship with them. It's not right for them. Whatever. Great. Okay, it's not right for you. Do you know anybody else who struggles with name what you guys have been chatting about or could really use support with name whatever you guys have been chatting about that could use my help? Or do you know anybody else who's ready this month while you're waiting? I have a slot in my group that I saved for you, but if you need to wait till next month to save your money, do you know any friends who are ready to join now? Then you could buddy up when you're ready, whatever, blah, blah, blah. If you treat someone like a human and actually get to know them, chances are their network is similar to them and they'd be more likely to open up their network to you in terms of referrals, okay? If you're not asking for referrals, you are way, way, way missing out on some organic network growth with people who are more likely to buy from you, okay? One happy customer per studies generally could equal 9 new referrals for you, okay? So if you did the hard work, and a happy customer could be someone, like I said, who even says no. They're just happy you listened and treated them like a person and you weren't crappy when they decided it wasn't the right time for them because you need to hit an income goal, right? If you do this right, you can get a lot more referrals as well, okay? And they're people, those 9 people that they referred to you are 4 times more likely to make a purchase. Why do you think Beachbody even has a coaching network? Why do you think MLM network marketing exists? Because corporations know this. You guys are literally referral machines for them, but you're running your own business. You need to capitalize on the strength of this as well and stop thinking you're the only one referring these products. No, other people are referring you. You're branding yourself. You're referring Beachbody. Other people are referring you. If you do this whole system right, it can just, hopefully you're seeing the domino effect. And I don't think you can see me. I'm very talky with my arms, but right now I'm making really big sweeping gestures to show you how impactful this can be for your business, all on the same amount of work, you guys. Way less stress work, actually. And salespeople, no surprise, customers referred by a friend are 4 times more likely to make a purchase. Salespeople who actively seek out referrals earn 4 to 5 times more than those who don't. Okay, I mean, those numbers are not a coincidence. They work together. So who doesn't want to make 4 to 5 times more money than you're making now from people that you don't have to go find them. They're referred to you, and they're 4 times more likely to buy from you, which means that conversation is going to be easier, right? Like that is like a dream scenario. Okay. And you don't need a reason to help people. Like we talked about, I don't know that I've actually met a Beachbody coach that's like just greedy and doesn't want to actually help people, right? You all want to help people. In fact, I think you get bogged down in helping people and deny yourself all this money. But you don't need a reason to help people. But if you did, money would be a really, 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 really good incentive for that. Okay. And so, like I said in the beginning, my job is to help you guys be more successful in the same amount of time you're spending, because I want you to go live your lives and live your best life and have time with your family and all that good stuff. Go on vacations, have rest, meditate, whatever you want to do, and get more results, AKA money, from your business activities. And so I hope that you think about using My Connection Builder, because you get access to our group. You've seen all the tools. It's built in there for you. I've simplified this whole system pretty well by bullet points, but I know from experience, if you don't have a system that tells you on a dashboard who you need to follow up with, you're not going to be flipping back and forth on your paper and pencil notebook saying, okay, who do I need to follow up with? I know it's not going to happen. I've coached so many people, and it's the rare person who keeps up with that. If it's not automated, it's not fun, doesn't give you a nice chart that says it's 100%. Oh, and by the way, we have live help chat. So if you are afraid of software, like me, and computers fall apart around you and technology doesn't work around you, we have live help support. You have us in the group. I'm literally one of 2 to 3 people in Intercom, and I created the software with a coding team. So you have the best help available to you, and we're really, really committed to your success. These are just a bunch of testimonials. I won't bore you with it, but people made a sale from a prior contact when they loaded her. Like, sales can happen that same day, because as you load contacts, you realize that you forgot to follow up with them with your old system, and you can have sales waiting for you. Okay. Kanisha here is a huge advocate of ours. She signed 6 coaches. She topped her this was like way last year, but she topped her 2018 earnings 2 weeks straight. So she's a huge advocate of it. There's stuff that it makes it easier for you to not waste your time on Facebook, like live chat and automations and all sorts of other stuff. But this is just to show you, these aren't just like you probably might not even recognize these names. These are not top coaches that have the best network and systems in place. These are like everybody. I mean, Cindy Tremblay, you might notice, because she was the top salesperson. What was that program? It came out late last year, but she was the top retail salesperson of that program, and she used MCB, and she loves MCB. It saves her so much time. Transform 20. This is actually what she's talking about, Transform 20. She worked all day, but she had like 600 Success Club points or something. It was ridiculous. I don't even know the number. But you can do massive action on this, or you can start where you're at right now. The reason I bring it up so much is because I know it works and it can help you. But if nothing else, go back to that screenshot, go back to your notes, and do follow-up and treat people like humans with that conversation funnel. And I promise you'll get more sales. You'll be less afraid of no's. You'll get fewer no's. You'll get way more referrals, and your business will run smoothly. So I hope, I couldn't see your faces when I was doing that. It's really hard for me when I can't see your faces, and there's like a gajillion questions. So I'm going to start reading questions. But if anybody wants to chime in, please feel free to do so you don't have to look at my lovely face looking off the screen reading these questions. I think I'm muted. You're perfect. Stephanie, you're Superwoman.
Thank you. As you're catching up on the questions, Stephanie, I just want to say thank you for everything so far. People are saying very positive things in the comments.
Good. Yay, look at all these people. And by the way, I'm not Superwoman. Y'all are super women. I mean, we all are, because we're just a big bunch of hot messes that do the best we can. But that's why systems are important, because otherwise we'd lose our minds. My husband jokes that every time I make a grocery list, I forget it at home, which is true.
Stephanie, can you speak to, I know one of the questions towards the end is a good question. What does My Connection Builder pair with? Only your Facebook business page? Are you manually entering in information? Does it require emails for these people? What's the information you need to be able to have them in your system?
So the only information you need to add them to My Connection Builder so that it pops up is their name. That's it. Like, that's all we require, but it's not as useful if you don't add other things, right? Like, so it still would be a fine tool to pop up and give you your to-do list and remind you of the notes and stuff like that. But if you put in, let's say you don't have a business page at all. By the way, apps cannot connect to personal messenger. They cannot auto-respond to your personal posts. Facebook does not want you doing business on a personal profile. Neither does Instagram. That's why they have business pages, okay? But a lot of people work there anyway. So if you add your contacts from a personal page or from Pinterest or from your cell phone or whatever, something that's not a business page that integrates, I would put in as much info as you can, because then when they pop up, you can do a direct link to their profile. So while it doesn't, like, the message doesn't come from My Connection Builder, you can push it and it opens it up in a tab yourself, like next to the browser in Facebook, and you can engage on their page. Same thing works for Instagram. You guys put their Instagram URL and a little icon pops up inside of My Connection Builder. So when they come up and it's like, okay, it's time for me to follow up with Kristen, I don't have to like go from there and then search for Kristen on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. It's right there. It opens it up on Facebook. You still have to track it in MCB because it's not integrated, but it cuts out that step. You're not scrolling. It takes you right to them. You can message them and boom, it's done. Okay. If you do have a business page, live chat directly connects with it. So it automatically records it if you type from inside the system. And it can do some automations on posts on Instagram and business page. Did that answer the question?
Ashley, feel free to unmute yourself and chime in. I know you're.
Hi.
Hi.
So I find that I did the trial with My Connection Builder, but I personally got a little lost. I'm a newer coach, so I did start with my personal page, and like everything about My Connection Builder sounds like amazing to me, but where I get stuck is that I do want to be able to utilize all of the features of My Connection Builder, but I'm having trouble getting people to go over to my business page and like stop it with my personal page. So that's kind of like where I'm getting hung up, to where like I'm like, oh my gosh, all these features would be freaking phenomenal, but how do I get people over there in the first place?
So there's a couple things. So even if don't have a big business page, but you have one in existence, which I recommend for everybody, like you don't have to worry about ads and all that stuff, but to utilize My Connection Builder and the safety of running a business on your business page versus personal profile and all that stuff. Did you send them the direct link to message your page? Did you try that? Do you know about that? No. Okay. So if you don't know, you can send people, it's like a URL. So let's say in your situation, you're private messaging me and I want to move to my business page. I would just be like, hey, I barely check this anymore. I moved over to this other page. Could you just send that same message to me over here? And it's literally a link. Okay. And I'm going to type in, so it's m.me, so m.me, so message me, me, / and then the end of your page. So all pages have a handle. So let's say like for My Connection Builder, it's My Connection Builder. So I send that. If you guys click that, it'll literally open up inside of your messenger a new thread with my page so they can message it. Okay, it's just a shortcut. I mean, you could be like, hey, I'm on this page. It's called, Stephanie McDaniel. And then they'd have to search for it. And then they'd have to know that that's your right page. And then they'd have to push the messenger button. This cuts that all out. And it's literally just be like, hey, can you just copy that and send it to me over here? And we'll continue chatting over there. Then they're in your messenger. As soon as they press send, they're in your messenger in your page. And it's just like that easy for them. So I would do that. And if they're still hesitant, then it could be that they don't know that it's a business and they're like, why am I going over to your business page? Or maybe it's, you know, a close personal friend and they're like, I don't want to go over there when I have access to you here. It could be a lot of scenarios, but that's the easiest way to move them over.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Friggin' brilliant.
Can I add to that? Because I've been trying to use that constantly and I very rarely will get people replying to me. So what I started doing is saying, like, my Facebook business page won't let me initiate a message. Like, I'm telling them it won't let me initiate a message with them, and that, like, I really want to respond to them and I just won't see their message. Like, then I have to stick to it and try to not respond from my personal page, which sometimes shoots me in the foot. But people weren't getting like, well, why would I message you there when you're right here?
Yeah. And it is true. You can't actually, from your business page, go find a personal profile and message them. That's why they have to initiate it first. But yeah, once they're in your personal area, they may be hesitant to move over there because, first of all, they don't understand. You know how many people don't understand where they are when they're on Facebook? They're like, what do you mean group? What do you mean profile? What do you mean page? Like, it's all the same thing to them. So it's difficult, but this is the easiest way. And so however you can word it with that person to help them understand, like, it's kind of like, don't email me here, email me here. Otherwise I won't open it, right?
Thank you so much, because I know that's been a big tough thing for a few of us to kind of figure out.
Yeah. And like you said, some people may be hesitant to go over there, but that is super simple. And if you don't know how to find whatever it is after the /, just open your page and it's whatever is the end of the URL.
Awesome.
So
Thank
like facebook.com / whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool beans.
Another question I see on here from Amanda. So she was saying, at what level of business do you recommend this software? New coaches or established coaches? And I would kind of go on to say, basically, I feel like you're going to say it's for everybody because I feel like it is. But in your experience, what have you seen with new coaches who are investing in their business, spending their money on this software? Do you find that new coaches are getting traction with this versus people who are kind of in the trenches of forming and inviting and already kind of at that level?
I've seen success across the board, honestly. Not just because I want you all to use it, but truly, if you're talking to even one person, because I hear that a lot, they're like, well, I don't have a booming business page, or I only, I'm working through my 100 friends already. I don't have a big network. You think it's easy for you to keep track, but it's so easy to get the conversation wrong, get wrapped up in your business goals of success club or whatever, new script you hear about or whatever, and forget about long-term and forget about your individuality, and forget to follow up with people, quite honestly. A lot of those testimonials that I rushed through at the end were people saying, all I did was add my contacts to my connection builder and I got a sale because I forgot about this person. It is a little work to go back and be like, okay, Susie Joe from June last year, whatever, I'm going to type in her name, put her profile in, whatever, it takes a minute or two. And sometimes that stops people from doing it. It saves you so much more time in the future. But just being there, obviously you're going to send that person a follow-up and be like, hey, oh my gosh, I didn't even see this message, whatever. Like, just the process of organizing yourself and getting them in there can remind you and get you sales and get people interested. We're doing that challenge, like I said, and there's so many people that are like, from different companies are like, I have 5 makeup bookings next week just from adding my list of 100. Oh my gosh, I had somebody buy yesterday just from adding my list of 100. That's like one of the things is just get your contacts in there. So truly, honestly, I think from day one, if you are taking your business seriously, use a tracking tool. I wanted to be my connection builder because I think it's the best. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it that way and stop, we're not going to stop till it's the best, but you need to track and take your business seriously because the people that have that mindset from the get-go don't give themselves excuses. You have bad days at work sometimes, but if you have systems and things like that you've invested in, that you've invested time or money or personality into, you're more likely to show up for it, even if you don't want to that day. So it's really, really critical. Everybody that I've seen at the top of any company has been, this is a business from day one, right? That doesn't mean they invested a ton of money in anything, and this doesn't even cost a ton of money, but you have to look at it as a business, and figuring out systems and signing up for trainings and doing things like that get you in that mindset.
I think, guys, even if you are not, like Maggie just said, I'm sold. Like, even if you're not interested in doing this thing, like Stephanie came on to talk about the follow-ups and the sort of the art of how to do this successfully. So if you're like, I just can't afford to do that right now, put it in your back pocket and use these strategies and really start tracking them. And then as that success starts to build, think, okay, now I'm getting in the groove of this. It would be really helpful to have something sort of reminding me to do this. So don't feel like tomorrow you have to go on to My Connection Builder and get it right away if it's not the right fit for you. There are some people on here who are like, yes, I need this right now. Like I'm feeling like I got to get back in the zone with this kind of thing. Especially for people who are working full time. You don't have all day to think back and follow up and look in your lists. And so it's a really effective and organized way to log on and say, okay, who are the 10 follow-ups I'm going to do today? Boom, boom, boom. And it's all in there. So once you get this ball rolling, it really is an effective way to do it.
Can I give you a hint that I'm shooting my own self in the foot as a business owner, but totally free trial. You're leading up to a launch. I do recommend you get it, but before the 30-day trial ends or whatever, you can export your list of contacts. Okay. And if you export your list of contacts, it includes notes, it includes tags, it includes if you listed them as ice cold temperature or hot or whatever. Obviously, continuing to use the tool is easier because it will tell you, but if you can't do it at that time, you have a nice Excel spreadsheet made for you with all that back work. So then you don't have to try to come up with, okay, how do I put this conversation funnel in there, right? It'll list where they're at in the conversation funnel and you can go from there. So it'll make like a nice Excel spreadsheet that you can then work off of until you decide that you want something more specific.
Stephanie, I feel like people would love to hear, if you're willing to share, what each of the temperatures represent in MCB.
Yeah, so it's dual function. Well, a big part of MCB is I don't want you to put people in there that you don't want to follow up with, right? So it's impossible to skip somebody unless you archive them. So if they're in their list, they're going to pop up again. And so it goes ice cold, cold, warm, and hot. To me, ice cold is like new to your network, right? Like they're new to your network. Maybe they're just meaningful contact made. They're just getting like used to you. There's a whole thing I could go on. But like they're new to your world, or maybe they're your aunt or something and they're new to your business. Okay. So just because you knew them before doesn't mean they're a hot prospect for your business. So there's two ways to think about it, but it's basically, they don't even know you have something to offer, right? They're ice cold. Cold is like, okay, they're getting to know you a little bit. They're getting to trust you a little bit. They're opening up a little bit, but they're still like, maybe they don't know you have something to help their problem. Maybe they haven't started talking about their problem that you can solve yet. But they are chatting with you and warming up to you as a person. Warm is, you've probably explained that you're doing something that can help them as well. You're having more deeper conversations. They've come to maybe a meeting or two, or, looked at, like, asked you about your product or asked you what you're doing, or maybe they went to a sneak peek or a free group of yours or whatever. They're warming up, right? And hot is, I wouldn't use hot unless somebody's like, next week, send me the link to this ultimate portion fix. Okay. To me. So it's all up to you, subjective, but that's how my head was when I made those. And then the second part is that if they're ice cold, the system won't tell you to follow up with them for 10 days. So it extends the automatic of them popping up, right? You can always manually override that and be like, well, I'm not going to chat with this person for 3 months because they're that ice cold. Right. But it'll extend it out. So you're not, excuse me. So you're not following up with people who are ice cold and hot at the same frequency, because it doesn't make sense. If they're ice cold, they don't want to hear from you every 3 days. They don't. But if they're hot, you better not be waiting longer than 3 days to follow up with them. Right. So it kind of like is a safeguard for that as well. Excuse me.
And we won't keep you much longer, Stephanie. We like to do an hour and we know you've got things to do, but I also wanted to shout out Kelly Spencer if she's still here. I know she's not on video, but Kelly Spencer is leading our Success Club boards almost every single month. And she is a believer and user of the system. So if you want to know what Kelly's doing, she's doing this. And it's not that this system, like, it's not going to do it for you. You have to be in there and staying organized in terms of like, okay, meeting someone new, add them to your system so you know it's going to trigger you to say, like Stephanie's been talking about, in 5 days, 3 days, 5 days, whatever, follow up to say, hey, how are things going, or whatever. So it's just that little prompt to say, when you're doing your business activity tracker, who are those 10 people that you're following up with? You don't have to like pull it out of wherever and make it up and try to think of like, who did I talk to this week? It's literally all there. So it's very systemized. Sounds, super effective, and it's obviously really successful. We have some of like the top coaches, those top 10 coaches who were like, they were in there, they were doing Social Team Builder, they were doing My Connection Builder, and they like seriously kicked off their businesses. So it's definitely valuable and worth looking into and exploring some more, and seeing if it's the right fit for your business.
Yeah. And if nothing else, follow up.
Yes.
Somehow. If you have a super brain, unlike me, and can do all those things and remember everything you said to everybody, and remember in 3 days from now that you got to follow up with them, go for it, man. But I know that would never work for me.
Yeah, that's the same. I like to pretend it's working for me, but in actuality, I could probably benefit from a few more kicks in the rear because truthfully, I will like do a bunch of work that in the month, and then at the end of the month I'm thinking like, who did I talk to this month? Or I suddenly a name comes to me and I'm like, oh my god, they were like ready to enroll and I never followed up with them. But also that concept of the people who did enroll and they're still in your follow-up list and checking in with them and those kinds of things.
It's so critical. I think once people get into MCB or, our group, they're like, why do I need to follow up with my team? Why do I need to follow up with my clients? You guys, you want residual
income. Yeah. Residual income. You want those people staying on Shakeology. You want them loving bod. You want them trying Energize, following up with them once they get their Shako and bod package. Okay, well, how are you? Well, I just don't have the energy to work out. Oh, really? I have something for that. That kind of thing. But mostly just, supporting them because like you said, you don't want to just get Success Club points and never speak to these people again. That's not our job.
Yeah, and a lot of people join this opportunity because they want support and community. And if we drop them, then that's a bummer.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm excited to check it out. Oh, go ahead, Mary Paige.
I was going to say, I just want to say one other thing about MCB because I've been using it for a while now. And my favorite piece of the puzzle is the lifestyle list, basically. And if you guys are familiar, they've done a lot of talk about the business activity tracker for Beachbody in the past couple of weeks. And you literally can take that that bat sheet and put it in your lifestyle and like check mark. Okay, did that. And you can add like other things like in the challenge that we're doing here in March, like we just added like random things the other day to mine. I was like dance party, whatever. And then, you can just like make sure you're getting in like your workout, your Shako, whatever it is. And like it keeps my head to the point where like, okay, what do I need to focus on right now? I need to like checklist this all. And it's a great tool and definitely recommend you trying it out for that like 30 days.
I love that you're loving that part because I'm sure you know this about me, but I know I covered heavily the technique and reasoning behind like follow-up, right? Which is a business thing that you need to do. But we can't do this without a balanced life. There's a reason why there's vital behaviors. There's a reason why you need to be product of the product. And I think people put that by the wayside sometimes, and it's critical, not just for your business, but for you as a person. And I never want to put something out there that like makes someone so stressed out and so business focused that they forget to spend time with their kids. Right?
Agreed. No, and with the challenge like that we've been doing, the reason why I like added the whole dance, because I didn't even think of that. I had only just business type activities there. I'm like, well, why am I not adding? I have my workout, I have my Shako there. Why am I not adding these other random things that I would really, really enjoy to this list? It's just, that's exactly, I love that piece. That's like, it just definitely keeps me straight, like focused.
Good. Thank you for that feedback. I love hearing that kind of stuff because truly my heart and soul has gone into this. And I wanted to help people live their best lives. So I like that feedback. Thank you.
And she really is doing the dance parties.
Video or it didn't happen.
Oh, it's on her Instagram. I'll post it in the group here.
Do it.
On Instagram last night.
I love that. Well, if you guys come up with any more questions, or I know some people are watching replays and this wasn't in a group, please have them message the My Connection Builder page. I'm happy to answer it. As you know, I'm in Intercom. But I just, even if they're not interested in My Connection Builder, if they have questions about like what the heck is needs, wants, desires, because it wasn't clear, they can message us. That's fine. And I answer every message on that page. So thank you guys for having me. I hope that was impactful, especially leading to a launch. Like, take all this hyped up energy and go kill that launch, because launches are so important and can be so huge. And all these lifestyle posts that you're going to be doing and gaining interest, don't discount that person that just gave you a smiley face or a heart or something. Put them on your follow-up list, because they're watching you.
It's true. It's true. Thank you. Thank you for spending your time with us. We wish you all the luck with the next baby. Good luck to you.
It's been kicking me this whole time.
Yes. Well, you did very well, because I remember that being that pregnant, I was like, what did I just say 2 seconds ago?
Well, I feel like I've been panting because it's hard to catch my breath. So I'm like,
well, you did it perfectly. We would have never known. If you hadn't told us, we would have never known you were pregnant from this little box here.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you so much for joining us tonight. And it sounds like some people are really interested in what you have to offer. So yeah, all around great stuff. So
perfect.
Thank you. And thank you for being open to conversations and questions if they should have them after this. So
absolutely.
Good luck to you, Corey. Thanks for getting her on tonight. Stephanie, thank you. Thanks for joining tonight, guys. And we'll see you all later.
Thank you.
Bye.